Welcome back! In this video, we'll explore the top tools every software engineer and test automation expert should know about. Whether you're a seasoned developer or just starting out, having the right tools can make all the difference in your workflow and productivity. We'll be looking at some of the most popular and powerful options available, from code editors and version control systems to CI/CD tools and testing frameworks. This isn't about picking the absolute best because everyone's got their own flow. But we're talking about the tools that consistently deliver, the ones that pros rely on, and the ones that might just change the way you approach your next project. So, let's dive in. Having the right tools is crucial in software development. It's like having a carpenter try to build a house with just a hammer. Sure, you can technically hammer some things together, but you're not going to get the precision, efficiency, or quality you would get with the full toolkit. The right tools can streamline your workflow, reduce errors, and ultimately make you a more efficient and effective developer. Think about it. A good code editor with intelligent suggestions can save you countless hours of typing and debugging. A robust version control system like Git can be a lifesaver when you need to track changes, collaborate with others, or even just revert to a previous version of your code. And don't even get me started on the power of automated testing. It's like having a second pair of eyes constantly checking your work for bugs. First up, we've got Visual Studio Code, or VS Code for short. Now, VS Code has taken the developer world by storm, and for good reason. It's incredibly versatile, customizable, and powerful. One of the things I love about VS Code is its massive library of extensions. You can find extensions for practically any programming language, framework, or tool you can think of. This means you can tailor VS Code to perfectly match your development environment and workflow. It's also got a really clean and intuitive interface, which is always a plus. You've got your file explorer, your editor, your integrated terminal, and your debugging tools, all laid out in a way that just makes sense. But it's not just about looks. VS Code is packed with features like intelligent code completion, debugging tools, Git integration, and so much more. Whether you're working on a small personal project or a massive collaborative effort, VS Code can handle it all. Next, let's talk about version control and specifically GitHub. Now, if you're serious about software development, you need to be using a version control system, and GitHub is the undisputed king. Think of GitHub as a giant time machine for your code. It lets you track every single change you make, so you can always go back to a previous version if something goes wrong. And trust me, things will go wrong. But GitHub isn't just about saving you from yourself. It's also essential for collaboration. With GitHub, multiple developers can work on the same project simultaneously without stepping on each other's toes. You can see who made what changes, when they made them, and even leave comments and feedback. It's like a social network for your code, but instead of posting selfies, you're sharing your latest and greatest creations. Plus, having your code publicly available on GitHub is a great way to showcase your skills to potential employers or clients. Now let's move on to the world of continuous integration and continuous deployment, or CI/CD, with Jenkins. Jenkins is essentially an automation server that helps you automate various aspects of your software development process, like building, testing, and deploying your code. Imagine this: you make some changes to your code, commit it to GitHub, and then Jenkins automatically grabs that code, builds it, runs all your tests, and if everything passes, deploys it to your servers. No manual intervention, no tedious steps, just pure automation goodness. This not only saves you a ton of time and effort, but it also helps you catch and fix errors much earlier in the development cycle. Jenkins is incredibly flexible and can be customized to fit a wide range of workflows and use cases. You can integrate it with a ton of different tools and plugins, making it a true CI/CD powerhouse. Finally, let's wrap things up with Selenium, a powerful testing framework for web applications. Selenium lets you automate interactions with your web app, essentially simulating how a real user would interact with it. This means you can write automated tests that check if your app is working as expected, without having to manually click through every single page and feature. And trust me, when you've got hundreds or even thousands of lines of code, manual testing just isn't an option. Selenium supports a wide range of browsers and operating systems, so you can be confident that your app is working properly for all your users. Plus, you can integrate Selenium with other tools like Jenkins to automate your entire testing process. So, you write your code, Jenkins builds and deploys it, and then Selenium automatically runs all your tests to make sure everything is working as it should. That's it for today's rundown of the best tools and platforms for software engineers and testing automation. From code editors like Visual Studio Code to version control systems like GitHub, CI/CD tools like Jenkins, and testing frameworks like Selenium, these tools can significantly enhance your productivity, improve code quality, and streamline your entire development process. Remember, the best tools for you will depend on your specific needs and preferences, so don't be afraid to experiment and try different options until you find what works best. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more tech insights.